Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Loud Life Show here on WQMIX Radio, coming to you every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Loud Life Show with your host, Alvin Folks. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here with me on this great Sunday. I appreciate your listening and tuning in, taking 30 minutes out of your day to come and listen to me. Hopefully, some of the things we talk about will resonate with you and cause you to make some changes in your life. I got some big things that I'm planning. So I say it every week. In the coming weeks, I will have some things to share with you in terms of contact information, all types of things, so that some of the things that we're doing now, we can work on one-on-one individually and move forward from there, so that we can continue to help people become the best version of themselves. Okay. So I am coming to you today because I have the topic I want to talk about today is something I alluded to in a past show, but I didn't really delve into it a lot, but I'm going to delve into it today. And the topic for today is the answer is the answer. That's the topic. The answer is the answer. So when you hear that and you hear me say that, that sounds very simplistic. That sounds, very rudimentary. The answer is the answer. 1 plus 1 is 2. No matter how you cut it, 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay? The answer is the answer. What does that mean, though, when you're thinking about your life? What does that mean when you're thinking about your well-being? What does that mean when you're thinking about your health? That the answer is the answer. And I want you to think about that. I want you to say it with me. 1, 2, 3. The answer is the answer. Now, keep that in your head and let's move through this journey about the answer being the answer. Now, I'm going to use myself as an example. I want you to think about yourself as you start thinking about scenarios where this concept comes into play. I've been using this concept in my life probably for the last few months. It's something that I developed and came up with in terms of me thinking about different things and how I react to certain things and how I move through certain things. So I'm hoping that it is going to be beneficial and helpful to you. The answer is the answer. Okay. So I used to have a propensity of procrastination. Now, the reason I would procrastinate, I would tell myself, is because I just want to do it later. But I went through an exercise called the 5 whys. It's where you ask yourself 5 questions. Why? So by the time I got to the end of the whole 5 whys dealing with why I procrastinate, what I discovered for myself was that the reason I really procrastinate is because I really don't want to sacrifice time doing something that I feel is not worth my time. Okay? Now, why would I feel like it's not worth my time? Glad you asked. I feel like it's not worth my time because actually, deep down, I am afraid of the outcome, i.e., the answer. I'm afraid of what answer I may get. So for me to do an exercise that made me ask 5 questions why was already troubling for me. But follow me as I go through this. So, give you an example. Procrastination on getting healthy. I would procrastinate on getting healthy because that would mean that I would need to lose weight. And at the time, I was very I was health heavy, and I was heading toward being unhealthy. So I was headed toward being unhealthy, and I decided I wanted to get healthy. But I kept procrastinating. Do you want to know why I kept procrastinating? Because, and I know this is going to sound really crazy, I didn't want to get on the scale. I didn't want to see the number on the scale. There was a time in my life where I would not check my bank account, my checking account, to find out what was in my checking account. Do you want to know why? Because I did not want to see how little money I actually had to spend. So I would just guesstimate based on past spending what I probably had in my checking account. Now, why are both of those scenarios dangerous? And why are both of those scenarios toxic? Well, I'll tell you why. The longer I procrastinated getting on the scale, the heavier I got, the more unhealthy I got. The more I procrastinated looking at my checking account, the more I would overdraw my account because the number that was in my head was never in conjunction with the number that was truly in the account. So I didn't want to see that, and so I would not look at my checking account balance. I would not get on the scale because I didn't want to see the number. As I got healthier mentally, emotionally, as I started feeling good about who I was, as I started becoming whole, I started understanding that in order to walk in my own truth, in order to do something different for myself, to make myself a better version of me, to make myself an optimal version of me, what I had to do was take a look at whatever it is I needed to face, because you can't fix what you won't face. And I needed to understand that the answer is the answer. Let me help you understand something. Let's go further. Did me not getting on the scale make my weight any more or any less? No, it just made it an unknown. Did me not checking my checking account balance make my balance any more or any less? No, it just made me feel good to think I had money that I did not have. So I'm sitting here as I'm talking to you, talking about the answer is the answer. I did not want to know the answer because, see, knowing the answer means that I had to accept the truth. Accepting the truth means that I had to do something to fix whatever it is that was broken. So I had to overcome the anxiety. I'm helping somebody today. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. I'm helping somebody today. I had to overcome the anxiety of the answer. Because no matter what, the answer is the answer. So I had to get on that scale, look at that number, be mad at the scale, be mad at the scale before I'm mad at myself, because I'm looking at the scale. You liar. You liar. That's not, now you know you lied. The scale was not lying. Remember, the answer is the answer. So I got the answer. It wasn't the answer I wanted. It wasn't the answer I hoped for, but the answer was the answer. Then from there, I was able to start putting things in place to help me to change that number to the number that I desired. Am I making sense to you? I did a check on my checking account. I pulled it up on my app. I looked at the app and I said, you liar. I know I got more money. Somebody at the bank is stealing my money because I know I had more money than this. I should have more money than this. That's a lie, I told myself. So after I was mad at the app and then mad at the bank, then I had to hold myself accountable, because whatever was in that account was because of my doing, my habits, my spending, my overspending. Because the answer is the answer. It was not the answer I desired. It was not the answer that I wanted. It was not the answer that I hoped for, but the answer is the answer. How many times in your life have you chosen to live in denial because you were afraid of the answer? It's getting thick up in here. It's getting thick. Let's take it a step further. How many times have you not asked a question because deep down you knew the answer? But you are afraid to hear the answer out loud, because hearing the answer out loud means that you have to act upon the information that was given to you. So you're afraid to ask questions, especially of people that you care about, that you love, that you want to be a part of your life. And let me be clear about this. Whenever I talk about relationship, I'm going to need you to broaden your horizons and not just think about romantic relationship. I'm talking about any relationship in your life: family, friends, co-workers, acquaintances, church relations, whatever it is, and romantic. All of it works together, okay? So how many times in your life have you not asked a question of another person because you were afraid of finding out the answer? I can't speak for you because I don't know you, but I can speak for me. I know there were times I did not ask a question because I did not want to hear the answer. And let's take it a step further, because let's just go ahead and hit it where it really is, okay? I did not want to hear the truth in the answer. That's why I didn't want to get on the scale. I didn't want to see the truth in the answer. The truth in the answer is you are overweight. Yeah, your clothes don't fit the way you want them to fit, but you still were lying to yourself, telling you that you're still a certain weight. Then you have to face the weight. Okay? You want to lie to yourself and tell yourself you had more money in your account, and maybe something came out that you didn't know. Now everything came out that you did know, including all the stupid stuff you bought that you know you didn't have to buy. So I got to look at that too. Now, equate it to people. You don't want to ask somebody a question because most of the time you don't want the confrontation that goes along with the truth of the answer. So we become argumentative, we become defensive, we start purposely diverting the conversation, and we come into purposeless debate to try to take people off their square so that they don't tell us what it is we really truly do need to know in order to make ourselves healthy. We don't want to deal with that. But I'm here to tell you that not asking the question does not make the answer any less the answer. Keeping yourself from asking the question won't make the answer any less the answer. The answer is the answer. There's somebody in your life right now that you're afraid to ask, what is the status of our relationship? You don't want to ask that because you're afraid of the answer. Because the answer is going to have to make you face the truth. The truth is going to have to make you walk in that truth so that you can find your own healing. Mind you, you are responsible for that healing. How you react to the answer has nothing to do with the person that you asked the question. Let me say that again. How you react to the answer has nothing to do with the person that you asked the question. You are going to be angry. You might be hurt, whatever the case may be. But at the end of it all, the answer is the answer. Wouldn't you rather know the truth than walk around not knowing? You've heard the statement, ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is ignorant. Why would you walk around ignorant? That's about to get deep, fellas. I'm coming to where you live at. I'm talking to the men right now. I'm talking to the men. This is why men don't go to the doctor. See, ladies think that men just don't want to go to the doctor because we hard-headed and whatever the case may be. Let me take the veil off of it for right now. Most of the time, we don't want to go because if it ain't hurting, if it ain't bothering us, we don't want to know anything else, because knowing means being responsible. So we're not going to go until it hurt. Most of the time, going when it hurts is further along in the process of you trying to be healed. So it will further the process, I should say. So if you're waiting for something to hurt, then by the time you get to the doctor, it could be something that has exacerbated that you could have handled if you were just getting regular checkups. But most of us men may not want to go to the doctor because we don't want to hear the answer. We like living in what we're living in, the way we're doing, and we're not ready to make a change. We're not ready to walk in the truth. We're not ready to accept the truth. So if I go to the doctor and I find out that I have high cholesterol, that means that now that I have the information, I'm responsible, I'm accountable. And if I don't want to be responsible and accountable, then I won't allow myself to ask the question, because I know that after I ask the question, whatever answer I get, the answer is the answer. I remember years ago, I put on Facebook that for men, your waist should be a certain circumference. Just to let you know, it should be under 40 inches. So anything over 40 inches for a man in terms of their waistline is an indication that you could be headed to having other health issues, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol. There could be a lot of indicators because you have such a large waist. When I put that up there, I had a person say, "No, man, that ain't right," and I told them how much your weight should be based upon your height. And they were like, no. And I'm not talking about BMI. I'm just talking about for a certain height, there's a maximum weight you should be. And I had people, no, that can't be right. That can't be right, because I'm this tall and I weigh this much and I'm doing just fine. And I asked the question, have you been to the doctor? No, because ain't nothing wrong with me. How do you know that if you haven't been? They went to the doctor. How about they went to the doctor and found out they were pre-diabetic, pre-hypertensive, had high cholesterol. Now that you know the answer, now you can start dealing with the truth. He came back to me later and said, "I want to thank you for doing that. You made me confront something I wouldn't confront." And at first, I get to clap and get excited. At first, when you said what you said, I got defensive because I felt attacked. I'm not attacking you. I just put out information. This wasn't personal. I didn't say anything personal. I didn't say you. I said people need to. Using the proverbial you, not the personal pronoun you. This is what we need to know. He said, and that's what scared me, because hearing you say that made me have to face the truth. And then I had to go seek out the answer, because the answer is the answer. Now I can watch what I eat. Now I can increase my physical activity. Now I can increase my rest. I can do all of these things to help myself physically, because now I know the answer. And now that I know the answer, I can attack the problem, because I've gotten to the root of it. I'm not putting band-aids on it. I am really trying to get to the root of the problem, because now I know the answer. Running away from the answer, people, will not make the answer any less of the answer. I had to say it again. Sometimes we talk to people and we give them, I said this in another broadcast, we give them the answer that is going to make us feel comfortable. So we let them off the hook by giving them an out, by suggesting an answer that we desire to hear. So the example I gave is still the same one. Somebody is supposed to be at your house to pick you up at 7 o'clock, and they roll up at 7:40. No rhyme, no reason, no nothing. You hot, because now you're going to be late to whatever engagement it is that you're going to. They walk in the house like nothing ever happened. And you say, yo, what happened? Why are you late? Was traffic bad? Pause. See what I did? Why are you late? Is traffic bad? I just gave that person the out. Yeah, traffic was terrible. Now I also gave them room to exaggerate or to lie. That's the truth. Now, rephrase the question now. They were supposed to come at 7. They got there at 7:40. You upset? You're going to be late. They come into the house. Nothing's wrong as far as they're concerned. You say to them, we're supposed to leave at 7 o'clock. It's 7:40. Why are you late? And just sit there. Wait for them to respond. Don't give them an answer. Don't tell them what they should be telling you. Let them tell you. Well, I fell asleep and I lost track of time. And I had to rush, take my shower and everything. I apologize for being late. Okay. Well, now we're going to be late, but at least now I know what the truth is. The answer is the answer. No matter how many times you don't ask the question, that won't change the truth of the answer. I have been guilty of this. I've been guilty of that many times in my life. Well, I would give people the answer that I wanted to hear because my answer to my question was going to make me feel better than the truth of their answer. Sometimes, and I was talking to my son, and he and I were talking about something similar to this. And in fact, we were talking about this particular topic, and he said something that made sense to me, and we reiterated it to each other, that people who don't really want the answer are okay walking in lies. They don't want to know the truth. Some people are okay with functioning in dysfunction. See, because dysfunction is a function of lack of. That went over somebody's head. Dysfunction is a function of lack of. Now, it could be lack of knowledge. It could be lack of time. It could be lack of understanding. But the reason that something is dysfunctional is because somebody has not taken the wherewithal to look at it, to figure out why is there dysfunction here. And you don't do that because you're afraid of the answer. The answer may mean I have to put forth effort. I have to exert effort in order to make sure that this works or to make it functional. But I first have to understand and brace myself and gird myself to know that no matter how I slice it, no matter how much I avoid it, no matter how much I run from it, no matter how much I decide to bury my head in the sand, the answer is the answer. Don't get on the scale if you don't want to. The answer is the answer. Don't check your checking account balance. The answer is the answer. Don't check your credit card balance and keep using your credit cards because you think you know how much you spent. The answer is the answer. Keep on walking around allowing people to take advantage of you, talk about you, dog you out behind your back, beat you down verbally in front of your face, and you won't ask any questions. But the answer is the answer. And sometimes facing that answer, Lord knows I know, is incredibly painful, incredibly difficult, incredibly sobering when you have to face the truth of your truth. When you have to look at your truth for what it is, not for what you desire it to be, not for what you hope for it to be, not for what you ideally think it should be, but for what it is. When you look at the truth in your truth, you start feeling all of these different levels of emotion. And all of these different levels of emotion are fine. You have every right to feel everything that you feel. But don't let your feelings hold you hostage from addressing the truth in your truth. Don't let your fear keep you from pursuing the answer. Because sitting back and allowing other things to happen without knowing the truth won't change the truth. Because the answer is the answer. I have to tell myself that every day. Did you hear what I just said? I have to tell myself that every day. Because every day I have the propensity of wanting to fall back into old bad habits because that's where I was comfortable. But I was comfortable being uncomfortable. I was functioning in dysfunction, and I had made that my life. I had made that my lifestyle. But now, my life, my lifestyle, my comfort level is all dependent now on me walking in my truth. So whatever the answer is, that's the answer. Not getting on the scale ain't changing nothing. If I said I wanted to be able to lift a certain amount of weight when I go to the gym, not going to the gym and pretending in my mind I can lift that amount of weight is not the answer. Go to the gym, try it. If you can't do it, at least now you know the answer, and you train until you're able to do what it is that you set out to do. Are y'all listening to me? Be able to walk in your truth. I know it's scary. I know. Trust me, I know. I know it's painful. Trust me, I know. I know it can be gut-wrenching and heartbreaking to hear something in such a way that it rocks your whole universe. I know. But again, I'm going to ask you the question, wouldn't you rather know than not know? Wouldn't you rather want to understand the truth than to build your life on a lie? Wouldn't you rather want to operate functionally, optimally, than to sit back and allow life to happen to you instead of you grasping and taking control of your life? You can't take control of your life if you're not willing to hear the answer. If you're not willing to pursue your goals, you're never going to move from where you are now. That's like you taking a trip, saying that you want to go someplace and you refuse to acknowledge where you are. How can you go someplace if you won't say, this is where I am? So in order for me to be able to navigate to where I want to go, I have to know where I am. I have to know where my starting point is. The answer is the answer. So if I tell you where I am and it tells me it's going to take me 3 hours to get there, not telling my GPS where I want to go or where I am is going to cut down on the amount of time. In fact, if I'm driving around aimlessly, it may add on to the time. I have to know where I'm starting so I can know where I'm going. Somebody got that. The answer is the answer. So that's how you're living your life. You're living your life as if you don't want to tell people, or tell yourself, more importantly, where you're starting from. That's the answer you're afraid of. Where am I starting from? Because see, once you know that answer, you're able to keep on moving. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to take work? Yes. Is it going to take time? Yes. Is it going to take patience? Yes. Is it going to take a process? Last week. Is it going to take a process? Yes. But would you rather do that to be a better you than live your life in ignorance? No matter what you do, no matter how you cut it, the answer is the answer. That's my time, people. Woo! Let me tell y'all something. That was good for me. That was good to me. I needed that myself. The answer is the answer. I will see you all next week. You all have a beautiful day. You all have a beautiful week. Remember, own your truth, own your answer, own your pathway. Own it, live it, walk it, believe it. Okay? I love you, ain't a thing you can do about it but love me back. May you live to see the dawn. Keep on moving toward your truth. And just remember, no matter what, the answer is the answer. Have a good evening. I'm gone.